as we always do, sharp at 7. So I would just set up the things. A quick health checkup. Guys, are you able to? No, I have to share the screen. Just a minute. Okay. I just need a quick heads up over if you can see the. Sorry. Yes. Guys, are you able to see the orange PPT so that I can start now? Okay, perfect. I got a heads up on this. Okay, thank you guys. So here I go. So today's session, as I've been talking and sharing few thoughts of mine with you, today's topic is supply chain management, which is very well known as SCM in the industry and by the employers or them use the terminology SCM. So I hope next time anyone talks about it in acronyms, you are smart enough to pick up what are they talking about. So SCM is a very, very interesting topic. Maybe you're from mechanical engineering, electronic, IT, you can be from any other bachelors. This is an area which you can certainly pursue or at least experiment with. So bringing in for today's agenda, it's crisp and clear. What is SCM? I will explain you with the basics of it, as we always start with the fundamentals and the basic concept. Examples and processes of SCM, because we love examples, because we learn the most by examples, and that's what we are going to bring that to you. We are going to talk about SCM with blockchain technology and big data. Now this is very interesting because, as I always promise you, that I'm going to get you different avenues of how exactly the areas and industries are progressing, because we should be able to harness the most out of it. So SCM is moving towards technology, and hence we need to also start learning technology in this area. The jobs and salaries, how rewarding it is, we want to know that. And at the end, the importance and the main purpose, profile building. So this is the agenda for today. SCM is, guys, omnipresent. It is everywhere. Have you ever wondered how does the t-shirt that you like comes in Big Bazaar or Lifestyle? That is SCM. That comes with almost so many transactions that you can't even believe. It is said that one product which is sold in a shop or a retail store at least have 30 to 35 people involved for that to reach actually to your destination. Can you beat that? Just one t-shirt and there are almost 30 to 35 people, means almost 35 transactions which have happened for that t-shirt to come to you. Now that is how large, how extensive, and how important it is. So a very important quote which I want to start with: supply chains are everywhere, from the biggest companies to running your household. Everyone has some type of supply chain experience. So guys, don't go here and there to look for supply chains. Even your mother is a part of a supply chain management, because she understands from which vendor, from which supplier, what to buy, when the things are replenished, how to get them cheaper, and XYZ. So your mother is also equally a very good supply chain manager. Don't we all agree? And currently in this situation, we all know how hard they work for our house to work so smoothly. So saying that and bringing it short, supply chain management is omnipresent, guys. It is for everybody and in every stream and industry. So coming to the basics of SCM. So SCM is management of flow of material, information and money right from vendors of raw materials to final customers to ensure right product services reaches right place at right time and in right quantity. Sounds very long, but very easy if I cut it through for you. So suppose you enjoy your, say, Pepsi, okay? There are varied things Pepsi as a company does. It first acquires the raw material from the vendors, whatever is required, and it has a list of vendors for the raw materials. When then it comes to the Pepsi company, there is manufacturing which happens, then there is logistics behind which goes to the entire demographic wherever Pepsi is sold. So many stores, so many distributors and so many people in this chain, and then at the end you walk into that store and pick that Pepsi from in your hand. Just imagine the background behind it. Now I hope you realize that how much work goes behind all this, and that is why it is very very important. Plan, source, execute, deliver, return, these are all aspects of supply chain management process. It is basically very easy to pick that bottle from the store, but it is very difficult to make that reach there because there are a lot of challenges in between. The weather, the raw material acquisition, the prices which go up and down, current crisis, we have all seen how supply chain management or supply chain has all been destroyed and disturbed. There's so much of economic losses because our supply chain links have been destroyed. So what are the links? Each person in this Pepsi example which I gave in is a link. So a raw material vendor is a link, a manufacturer is a link, a warehouse where the things are stored is a link, distribution centers, stores, consumers, all these are links. Each link at the time the money it brings in, and hence the cost of the product goes up and up and up. That is why a smarter supply chain is required, so that actually the consumer gets what he wants in a good shape, a good quality with a lesser price to it. So that is the normal and a daily task which industries go through or e-commerce platforms go through to better this experience, so that at the end consumers, which are you and me, benefit out of it. This is their major challenge because that's where competition is also. If they do not better their supply chain management skills, they will not be able to sustain the business and get profits out of it. Have you ever imagined how come a Walmart or a Big Bazaar or a D-Mart can give you a t-shirt at 200 rupees? They have to sell things at lesser price, and still they are making profits. Why is it? Because they work on all these nodes and links in supply chain. I will come to it with more examples further. So I hope we all realize what supply chain management is by now. So moving further, this is the entire flow of supply chain management, guys. There are a lot of shareholders and entities in it: sales and product development, procurement, suppliers, manufacturing, warehouses, logistics, consumers. Exactly what I gave as an example to you with Pepsi as in this thing. So supply chain management has typical processes. There could be more than that, but these are the main ones. They have to handle the first thing, which is customer relationship management, very commonly known as CRM, guys. So of course, customer is the king, and hence retaining the customer, acquiring new customer is a major part of supply chain. So this is where a person in supply chain works towards. Demand management. Pepsi cannot send the same quantity of bottles to all the stores in the market. They cannot even do that, but they have to have intelligence behind that where what consumption is there. So they have to map the supply and demand well enough. Otherwise, their products might lie somewhere where they are not consumed and go dead and defunct and contaminated. So they really need to map the rapid changes in the market. So can you believe each day Pepsi has to map this demand, because it is not the same every day, guys. So it's not like they have already found the magic or the formula. They have to keep looking at it. If suppose they're sending the product to Maharashtra, and Maharashtra for some reason right now has, say, some crisis, they cannot send that product to Maharashtra. So they have to see where they can consume the production which they have already made. Very, very, very challenging job as a supply chain manager. Product development life cycle. Of course, we need to see how the product is developed. It's just not about innovating and inventing new products. It is also about handling the current product. So my product will not be made if I do not have the right textile. So my t-shirt will not come into existence if I do not get the right dye, the textile, the raw material and stuff. So I need to have the PLP set. I need to have my vendors, my pricing, my timing, everything right. And that's all what is included in supply chain management. Supplier management, as I explained earlier. Procurement of raw materials, as I did in PLP already. It is very important that my raw materials come in consistency. If anything is not consistent, my product. So McDonald's, guys, we all enjoy McDonald's, don't we? We enjoy the consistency of McDonald's. It never happens that your Mac veggie is going to taste once today something else and tomorrow something else. Why? Because they have a complete procurement of raw materials and this PLP is set. The tomatoes which they buy are actually in sync. They don't buy tomatoes from normal vendors. They have actual farmers from which this chain starts. So just imagine the tomatoes, the onions, they all are done with some consistency, and hence our burgers taste the same every damn time, may it be anywhere in the world. And that is what the beauty of supply chain management is. They are king of supply chain management because they know that the customer needs consistency. The customer will be retained if I maintain this consistency, and hence this is a very, very important aspect of supply chain management flow. Transportation and logistics, a very, very dark segment yet, because in India particularly we do not have a very centralized body which helps us in this case. So a major pain and a major issue in supply chain management, but this is a very important part, because if I've made my product and if it doesn't reach the warehouse or the manufacturer or the raw material doesn't reach on time, the entire production gets held up, guys. So how important transportation and logistics is here. And at the end, inventory management. So of course I cannot be buying more products until I realize that that okay, I have to have a vision that okay, I'm left with 10 products only, it will last me only for another 2 days. There has to be someone who needs to be very smart enough to order the next 10 or the next batch of products. Otherwise, again, my manufacturing or my sales will get hampered due to it. So these are basic flows and processes of supply chain management. Doesn't it interest you? It is a vast ocean of knowledge, experience, and basic. It requires logic, guys. So anyone who finds it interesting, this is a area, this is the career path that you can set out for yourself. It is the most vast required skills, but the huge dirt into people here because there is no proper management for this area. So again, with an examples, because we keep giving examples so that this concept you never ever miss upon. So this is a flat chain supply chain diagram, guys. So raw material is basically acquired by a supplier. The supplier then sends it to factory. Factory manufactures the product. Maybe here it's your t-shirt. Then the t-shirt is distributed by transportation, which you can see there's a truck there, right? This then happens to almost 100 retail stores of lifestyle. There you pick it up as a customer and happily you go home. Can you see there are almost 6 entities in this case? 6 entities, and each area, just imagine the amount of people in supplier area, the raw material where the farmers or the groundwork people are working upon, the factories, the retails. Even when I mention 35 transactions or 35 people, some places it can go as high as almost 100 to 1000 people wherein each product requires. So the chain of your entire product, or the chain of you buying a t-shirt, is very, very long. It has ample of stakeholders in between. So the major challenge of an industry is to reduce this chain, to reduce the number of stakeholders in it, so that that will better the opportunity of the product and give a customer a better product and experiences. So this is what every day a factory, a supplier, a logistic company is trying to do, and I have more examples for you to explain that how are they bettering it. So best example for SCM, which no one can miss out if they want to go into SCM, because they are the case studies, a big time case studies for SCM. One is Walmart and another one is Amazon. Walmart, we all know, is the biggest chain of FMCG products, like how we have DMart and other places here in India. So it's a very big supply chain master. In fact, there are case studies, books. In fact, there are a lot of avenues that they say that Walmart is the most important physical textbook for supply chain management. Now, what does Walmart does? So Walmart, first step, it carefully selected manufacturer. So what Walmart does is that basically Walmart buys directly from manufacturer, no suppliers in between. So it has diluted. So as I had explained you the earlier, there was a supplier, right guys? You can see the orange thing. Walmart has reduced that. It directly buys from manufacturers ready product. Now it have warehouses where manufacturers handle the inventory. So there are warehouses where the products reach, after which they are all transported by trucks and other avenues and logistics and everything, and it reaches the hundreds and thousands of Walmart retail stores where you walk in to get it. So here you can see there are 4 levels of supply chain. They have reduced 2 levels. They have reduced the supplier in between, and that is how Walmart has reduced some way, some areas, so that it gives a product at a cheaper price. Another thing what Walmart does, it buys in quantity. So this all becomes useful for him and profitable for Walmart, so that at the end Walmart can still be profitable. See, they are not happy giving you a product at $10 or 100 rupees or 200. They're giving you dirt cheap, but they want to earn. So what they do, they make this supply chain reduced, so that, and the quantity is higher, so that they can still make profits. And that's why Walmart, DMart, Big Bazaar, all of this, even after offering you things at cheaper prices, they're still making profit, because they are the king of supply chain. So do you realize how important supply chain is for industry? Any screwing up here, they are really, really going to kill their avenues to be profitable and be in the industry. So this is the major reason why Walmart is a most successful area of this thing. Now coming to Amazon. Amazon went one step ahead. So Amazon, we all know, we all use, and how wonderful it is, because it has done things more simplified. As you see, there are only 3 levels of supply chain. First, brand name suppliers, Amazon's own goods, and independent sellers, all of them. So basically what Amazon did, Amazon asked that anyone can sell anything what they want, their goods and stuff in their cases. So once you're approved by Amazon as a supplier or as a seller, independent seller, you can send those products to the warehouses of everywhere. After which, once the orders are placed online, the warehouse distributes it directly to the customer. Simple and nice, right guys? There are only 3 levels. So the huge retail stores are bypassed here. So the infrastructure cost of Amazon is much lesser than Walmart, and hence Amazon can have more variety of products to offer you. So anything and everything is offered on Amazon because there is no cost or no investment which Amazon needs to do to procure those avenues. Once they have sales for you, an order for you, you will distribute that, you will send that product to your sales to the warehouse, and Amazon will courier it to the customer. Simple, bang on, boom. Now my retail stores are not there, so I can offer more value to the customer. I can give more things to at cheaper prices to the customer, and we all are as happy customers for them. And that's how SCM has been improvised because of Amazon, because of technology, because of cloud computing and e-commerce. And that's why at the start I said that SCM is now moving towards technology. And if you want to be in this area, which is so damn promising, so damn important, you need to be a person who also engages and embraces technology. I am coming to that part as soon as possible. So this is the next stage of learning supply chain with technology, and the first and the foremost one is blockchain technology. Blockchain meets supply chain. I will not go in a lot of detail of blockchain technology because I have already covered this in my telecommunication area and presentation and webinar. All those who missed it, I would suggest, please go on our YouTube channel. We have that entire recording of what blockchain technology is. So just to start with, blockchain is technology to decentralize distributed database, basically have a ledger central data which would have been at different entities, it would now be in a centralized ledger only. I will explain you in a more easy way. Just give me few minutes because here are few examples and few information for it. So blockchain in supply chain management will reduce challenges in complicated record keeping and tracking of products. So this is why blockchain technology is said to be the most disruptive revolution which supply chain management and industries are bringing in. Already Cisco, Intel, Walmart, Amazon have all started to implement blockchain technology into it. Blockchain, guys, if you think it's something new, let me tell you, we all have heard about it. Bitcoins which went so viral and so disruptive in the financial world is nothing but a blockchain technology and a product and a service. So more to it in my webinar in telecommunication where I have spoken about blockchain, but right now let me concentrate on supply chain industry. So blockchain can be applied to many challenges of supply chain industry, such as complicated record keeping and tracking of products. Supply chain consists of millions of people along with tons of water, crops, chemicals, and oil. This makes it difficult for manufacturers to find where the different parts of their products come from. The demand for increased speed, high volume, and cheaper consumption is increasing with each passing day. Don't you agree with the last point? As we said, we all want things cheap. This is the only mantra and the only requirement of the consumer. We never give as much as thought as how better the product is, why they are pricing it higher or XYZ. We all want first is something which our willingness to pay is always less, because we are being trained that we should be spending less and we should be getting the best. So this is what is a very twisted concept that way, and we want everything cheap. So supply chain with blockchain technology is the next area to go further with it. As I said, I will make things simpler for you. So let me give you an example here. So all the entities, who all are there in this entity? So suppose a food chain. Food chain is a very big supply chain, guys. The normal product, so suppose the sauce which comes to your place or the ketchup that you buy has an entire area of stakeholders involved. There is a farmer which actually grows your tomatoes. There is a processor which actually just makes or stores or make the puree of the ketchup. There's manufacturer who actually makes the finished product. There's a regulator. There could be FDA, there could be Indian, standard regulations and stuff which actually check your product. Then there is a truck which actually takes your product to the retailer, and the retailers could be thousands and lakhs of it, and then a consumer buys the ketchup bottle from the retail store. This is how long this food chain is. From the time a tomato grew till it comes to your home, it's almost a lot of days. And hence, food contamination is a very important concern of the food chain. So when I buy the product and the ketchup is not up to the standard, it has gone stale, it is because there was no right information to the retailer that how long or how old this is, or this product has expired. And hence what happens currently is that every farmer, every processor, every manufacturers have their own records. When this product came to them, when this product was manufactured, blah 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 blah. Now, this is basically individual ledgers, individual databases of individual stakeholders. But what does a blockchain network does? There would be a centralized network, a centralized book, a centralized database which will track the entire process of this ketchup making. So basically, when did the farmer produce the tomatoes is going to be in the blockchain network. Then it is going to be which, I'm sorry guys, yeah. Yeah, and then all this is going to be basically like an RFID tag, wherein everything is being recorded in a textbook or a notebook for your visualization. So at the end, when the product is sold or whenever the retailer needs to check, he has the entire information of where all this product has gone and where all, when will it expire and XYZ. That will help the entire food chain to be more smarter. So basically, who also monitors this, and blockchain technology will be a very important aspect to help this food contamination or this food chain to be better and better. So in this case, blockchain gives access to the entire data right from when did the farmer grew the tomato. So this will help a lot of problems and challenges and solve them. So I hope you have realized what is the importance of technology in SCM. So this was an example of food chain. So what is the benefits which blockchain? So it reduces or eliminates frauds and errors. So basically, if there are any frauds, there is wrong information, it cannot happen because all the information is dumped into a central repository. So no one can tamper the start date, the end date, or the manufacturing date, or any of it. So it reduces that because now it is centralized. 10 people are looking at it. So you cannot change your data. Improve inventory management. So I can do better by knowing that how long the supply chain is doing. So as a retailer, I know the crops are going to be at this time, blah 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 blah. So I better manage my inventory rightly. Minimize courier cost, reduce delays from paperwork. So there would be no paperwork because everything would be centralized and in a blockchain network. Identify issues faster. So what kind of issues? Just an example more to get you clear here. So in this case, if I have a ketchup which has reached to my store which is contaminated already, it is much more easier for me to track that where the issue came from. Was it because the manufacturer delayed it, or the regulator delayed it, or the logistic company delayed the product which happened to reach after expiry date? So the reason which so if I can identify, okay, the logistic company delayed it, it was lying in their warehouse for almost a month, and after after which they have given in, the entire expense and the cost of this loss is going to come on the logistics company, and everybody in this chain will agree it, because there is proof and there's clarity and there is information which is already there in front of all of them. So this is how blockchain is going to be very, very useful, and everybody will do their job rightly and also be penalized for not doing it rightly. So it is not that a person suffers because of someone else's wrongdoing. So it is better to identify issues faster, and that's what blockchain is going to bring in, and increase consumer and partner trust. Overall, at the end, of course, a person who's buying ketchup is going to be more happy because everything is sorted. He doesn't see a product which is lying on the shelf which is outdated. That is the last thing which we want to do, right? And we really, really take it personally, and we don't like it. That store or that reputation of the store will not be strong enough if the product is expired. So this is how blockchain brings in. The next technology which I would like to share here is basically big data. I did a session on big data and data science, which was the second day of the webinar series. Even this session and this topic is recorded in my YouTube channel, Education Street. So all those who are new to this webinar series, you may go and refer it to it. But let me give you a clarity on how big data is emerging as a very strong revolution in supply chain management. So as you see, guys, big data is bringing better inventory management, improved demand forecasting, order management, pricing management, and vendor performances. The experiences are way too higher. So as you see on the left hand side, there are a lot of entities. So all the data about manufacturer, retailer, supplier, distributor, customer will all come in centralized database, as what is going to happen because of blockchain technology also. Now if I apply analytics towards it, if I apply my big data analytics, so big data is nothing but basically huge amount of data, and then we have tools like skills like programming skills and tools like Tableau, Hadoop, Python, R, which help us to apply analytics and get us the right decisions, so our decision making is better. And that's why better inventory, better demand. So if from data I can understand that yes, this product is required in this area very soon, I will place an order as soon as possible, rather than not having that product in a shelf for a very long time. So this is how big data is doing magic in SCM, and the people who are actually working in this area are getting smarter and smarter. So basically, guys, with big data, 2.6 times more efficiency is brought in your supply chain. I feel this is amazing. So if the SCM gets better, as we understood from a past talking, that there would be more better products, better ordering, there would be better pricing for us as consumers, and hence big data is taking a lot of roots in this area. So if you're interested towards big data, I have already given a lot of certifications and skills which will help you. You can learn Hadoop, you can learn Tableau, you can learn Python, R, Go, a lot of these avenues which will help you to do big data analytics. So when I said in my webinar last time, big data is there everywhere now. So wherever you go, whichever industry you go, you may be a mechanical engineer, you may be a civil engineer, but now there is no looking back. Data is the king. Data is the new oil. As I had mentioned, it is going to be everywhere, and hence analyzing that data, getting key decisions, making decisions which are right becomes the avenue and opportunity for us. So as of now, only 17% of supply chain executives implement big data analytics. Wow. Now this made me very, very amused, and I could think of so much of opportunities that if you are someone who wants to go into SCM and who already looks at it as an opportunity, start learning big data analytics. Don't you think so? You're going to be a shining star for any employer, may it be at any level or any economic situation we are into. Guys, we always crib about the problems. There are no jobs, or there are lesser pays, there are lesser avenues, the economy is bad. I agree with it. But don't you think we should be paying more attention towards solutions and making things? So if there is problem in the economy, of course there is going to be more demand from you. And there is no option. I cannot help it. You cannot help it. So if there is more demand from me, I better get my skills and certifications right, so that they see me as a very potential candidate to save their boat. So this is all in your hand. So careers in SCM, so we have a lot of roles which are already there, like inventory management, purchasing officer, marketing, sales forecasting, material management, physical distribution, logistics, inventory, warehousing, purchasing, order fulfillment, forecasting, production scheduling, product life cycle. There are a lot of career positions, and they are just not into manufacturing areas. So anyone who has a strong myth about this, no, it is just not in industries and manufacturers. It is always there everywhere. Even companies like IT, TCS, Infosys, or a lot of them, even like consulting companies, KPMG, Deloitte, Ernst and Young, a lot of avenues are there for you. So if you are interested towards working in this career positions, you need to start now. There are good job avenues for it. So typically these are a different kind of roles, and the starting salary may start from $75,000. It can go as high with experience to almost $180,000. This is how the average or the high and the low works for supply chain management. Just do a normal Google and you will realize the number of jobs which are there and required for these areas. It could be industry analyst, project manager, supply chain sales, transportation director, and purchase officer. A purchase officer is a very, very reputed job in any company, may it be Reliance, Telecom, everywhere, because every damn purchase done right is money saved. So they need to put up the right person there to negotiate and do the right job and actually save the money. So if I am an automobile purchase officer and I work for Tata Motors, I need to do purchasing at a very, very right and minute level. So at Tata Motors, as a purchase officer, not only I have to talk to the seat cover guy, a fire extinguisher guy, a steering wheel guy, because there are so many products in a car which together come from different vendors, different suppliers, and I need to have control over them, not only with the time and the quality but also the pricing. So I need to keep the pricing in control, because things change, iron change, steel change, the entire market and pricing change, but my car prices in the market cannot change, because consumer will not pay me any amount higher just because I would sell them that the steel right now is very expensive. So in this area, this is where a purchase officer is the highest payer guy in this entire supply chain management, because any money saved there is a money and a profit directly to the company. So I hope you realize that how different importance of these roles are. Just few certifications or starting points for SCM. So there are lot of courses, guys. Of course, the main avenue would be to go and study. So in a university, of course, you would like to go for an MS in supply chain management, or an MBA in supply chain management, or an MS in operation management. But if you are in your bachelor's right now, you can start with small steps. If you're working professional, you can start with a small steps. If you don't want to go for a bigger investment and you also want to test whether this is for you or not, so there are a lot of chartered institute with supply chain management, Institute of Supply Chain Management, IOSCM, then CSCS, ISCEA, CDDP. There are varied levels from starting beginners to advanced, moderate level, and then to advanced. So if I am someone who want to prove myself, want to be a very very motivated and a charged up guy with a great level of profile, these are the steps which you can look out for. So these would be my food for thought. You may go about and check these courses for you to understand that which one is the best suitable for you. Of course, as I mentioned, the best avenue of course also would be to, after your bachelor's, do a master's or an MBA in operations or supply chain management. If you're looking for that, we certainly as counselors can help you to do and achieve that, because we are not doing this from today or day for few days. We are doing this for last 10 years. So if you're looking to studying abroad, we would be certainly be able to help you. So an advice and as an mentor and advisor for everyone, every student as a bachelor, please realize that each semester matters. Competition is not going to die. Competition is getting more and more complicated each day. I am saying this not to scare you, but actually to make you realize that time is money. If you don't make yourself worthy in this time, you would lose the battle and you will have to start compromising with your aspirations. And hence, as a mentor and advisor from Education Street, I bring to you profile building mentoring. Profile building mentoring is basically for all the risers. It is an intensive and customized mentoring program designed to provide you with the skills and advantages you need to find a good job or university admission after your bachelor's. So guys, this is a mentoring and it is customized. It is not a product or a service which I can serve for 100 students who join me. It is very customized because it depends on every candidate's careers, goals, aspirations, and level of efforts. So I have to be with every student, and as a counselor, I need to rise them up from where they are and help them to look at where they want to go. I will not decide what they want to do. They will be capable enough to decide what they want to do after the exposure which we give them to. So rise up or risk it all. That's how the statement I would like to put. So what do we offer in PBM? We offer you exposure to skills. So as we spoke about SCM, I would introduce you to lot of different skills related to it. Roadmap of time. So I would set the time for you, that how long does this skills or this certification would take. Normally every 3 months we keep building on your skills so that we know that you are on track, because otherwise there's always a possibility that you would lose your focus. Picking the right technical skills, right course certificate, industry trends, as I spoke about blockchain and IoT and supply chain, big data and all of these are important in varied ways. So these are industry trends and I need to give you that outlook. Internship guides, as someone asked me earlier in this webinar earlier, which I answered to, there is no use of just theory. If you do not put it to practical implementation, all is going to go in vain and it will not even give you the best experience. So we would help you to get internships. Entrepreneurship clubs, we will help you to connect with entrepreneurs who are already in this industry, and at the end, with the entire efforts that you put year on year in all your bachelor semesters, you are going to have a very strong resume, and this is the byproduct, nothing else, but you would be a very power packed person to talk and get what you want. So who is it for? It is not for lousy people who just have nothing to do but just be there as a herd mentality. It is for people who want to experience new things, try new things, fail in new things, learn from your mistakes and grow. So basically it is from students from any engineering discipline. It could be who are currently enrolled, who have already finished their courses, professionals, working professionals. It is for any student from any bachelor's. So even it is for people who want to switch fields. I get a lot of students who want to go from IT to supply chain or vice versa. They don't know, they think it is not possible, and lot of them kill their dream and aspirations and continue what they're doing and suck and be miserable into it. We don't want that to happen to you. Just take that decision. We will support you. So if you're ready to stand tall and see far, we would certainly help you out in that. from year on year, 10 years, we have seen wonderful outcomes due to PBM. Power pack skills, you will identify at the end what you want to do after your bachelor's or after your work assignment or whatever. This is what we want. We don't want us to decide what you will be doing. It is you to be capable enough to decide what is stored for you. Either you go for a master's or you ahead, or you go for a bachelor's, job. We will help you identify that job relevant if you want to go for a job, so you know which job, which role, which company is best suitable for you. Universities will see how effective you are, because you have actually just not gone through a mundane academic journey. You have put in that effort to actually unleash your shine, and universities in their essays, their letter of recommendation would see that how potential you as a candidate are. And at the end, you would be super high on confidence because your profile is now very strong, and the best outcome is a very strong character. I always say this to students: end of education is character. So if you have that, whatever times you are into, whatever turmoil, whatever economy lowdown or whatever, you will still get the job that you want or the university that you want. Trust me on it, because I'm talking that from my own experience. Because in 2009, when I was outside and there was a huge recession in 2009 where Lehman Brothers, all the companies had crashed down, and I still managed to get a job in British Petroleum in London, because I had done extensive projects, internships, certifications, and that made them realize that I could be worth a candidate. With all these positive offerings and strong offerings, we have a best offer for you. So normally our PBM is priced at 10,000, but all the webinar attendees of all this series, we are offering it at 7,000 rupees. This is a price which is very, very cheap, because the kind of effort is not 1 day or 2 day, guys. The PBM goes again and again. It's a loop. So as I want to explain you, these are the 3 steps of my PBM. First is basically primary profile counseling. We and my team would sit back and learn and listen from you that what you have done, what you like, what are your current skill sets, and where you want to reach. After this, I will set up a roadmap for you for next 3 months to list skills, certifications, internships, and activities to capitalize in your profile. Now, this is not what I can do for the same 100 students which we have. This is a very customized roadmap for each one of you, because everyone has different skill sets, aspirations, and goals. And at the end, the third stage is to keep building it. So it will happen every 2-3 months, that once your to-do list is finished, we keep building, and this is a continuous process till you finish your bachelor's or till you finish your work assignment as a working professional. So there are few general FAQs regarded to PBM. A lot of courses and certification available online. What will you do extra in this? So today, if you decide that you want to do SCM or you want to try or test SCM, just Google about things and you would realize that there are almost thousands of options available. Now, this is where the exact confusion comes, and that is why you require someone as an expert who has reviewed all of those options and get you the right expertise and right tool, because not all courses which they say offer you the same. So we better give you something as a very valid option, so that it lies in your resume very strongly and just not as a name. The second thing is the price for entire duration? Yes, guys. So the 7,000 rupees that we are going to take from you from Education Street is what we will charge. We will not have any extra charges. May it be your bachelor's is for 2 years left or 3 years left or whatever. The payments for courses and trainings selected for you would be separate. So with whatever trainings and certifications you decide, of course that charge is going to be separate. And how do we deliver PBM? It is going to be through technology. So wherever you are, we will be doing video chats, mentoring. We would have groups. We have Telegram group already. We would be working face to face on emails, phones, and video chats to help and communicate with you. Of course, if you are in Mumbai, we would love to see you, because we have 3 offices in Mumbai: Mulund, Vashi, and Vileparle. So I hope that brings you to a clarity. Education Street is in existence in last 10 years. Me as a counselor, I did not mention at the start, but I'm Ankita. I started this in 2010 until 2020. This has been my 10 glorious years and very enriching experience. I myself, I'm an IT engineer. I did my work experience after that with Tech Mahindra as a software engineer, after which I gave my GMAT and I went for MBA in finance to University of Leeds. I studied there. Along with it, I also did diploma in counseling, which has been the most important experience. And that's why I say build upon your skills, because today I never thought that that is going to be the most important certificate which I will be using. After which I was recruited by British Petroleum in 2009, which was my very bad state of economy, because there was huge recession, and that was the onset of recession. So you can understand the number of layoffs and jobs lesser being there at that time. But I still got recruited by British Petroleum, and I worked there for a year and a half. And that was my journey. And in 2010, with a strong calling, with so many different experiences and knowledge and certifications that I took for, I realized and I was capable to understand that what I want to do in my life. And hence Education Street came into existence, and I returned back and started my first office in Mumbai. And right now I have 3 offices in Mumbai. So thank you guys to hear me out. I hope this session was useful, and I would love your feedbacks and your doubts. Meanwhile, before we end up, we have a certificate of appreciation for all of you. We will email or WhatsApp you the certificate. The example is there in the PPT. We would love you if you can tag us on Education Street Insta or Facebook. At Education Street is our social handle. We would surely then courier your hard copy as well. So hope the session was useful. I'm looking forward for your questions. My email ID, if in case you want to write me personally, is ankita@educationstreet.in. I would love you to join us for PBM, because it is just the worth of your money and time. So I would certainly request one and all of you to register for PBM, because the price that we're offering currently is for short time, and 7,000 is a very, very interesting pricing for the huge amount of offerings that we are going to make for you. So Mulund, Vashi and Vileparle are our 3 offices, and at Education Street is our social handle. So we would love to be connected with you, and that would be a pleasure of ours. So this brings me to the end of the session of webinar, and we would love to take your questions further.